All right, dear sisters, I'm having headaches over a decision I'm about to make. I'm very independent. I have my own business that I'm running and a great apartment of my own. And I've also started a couple of other businesses and a building project too. At this stage, I would say the only thing I lack is a husband. Economically, I'm fine. Financially, I don't have a problem. Now, the issue is that I recently met a gentleman who is widowed with a 5-year-old daughter. He wants to settle down with me as soon as possible. This settling down thing scares me terribly. I feel marital responsibilities are growing to rob me of my independence. On my own, I'm a terrible workaholic and I panic at the thought of the marriage thing. Sisters, I need some counseling. Sicho.
You know, marriage is a very long journey. Actually, it's supposed to be a lifelong journey. Just that, of course, society and these days, the times have made it sometimes shorter than usual. But ideally, it's supposed to be a lifelong journey. And it's one of those things that you should have a strong conviction in your heart that you want to go into it, to comfortably go into it. If you are not feeling it and you are not feeling ready, and there are things that are not giving you that strong conviction to go for it, I would say don't. Take your time. Take as much time as you need. Don't let anybody pressure you into getting into anything you are not fully convicted into getting into. Because it's one of those decisions that, like my sister Rosie will say, once you get into it, getting out of it becomes so messy. Yeah. There's so many, it becomes too complicated to get out of. So you might as well rather tread cautiously while you are getting into it. Everything seems like an ideal situation for you, for the relationship to kind of work from the outside, those of us sitting outside looking into it, because this guy is widowed. So it's not like there's an ex somewhere coming into the equation to come and mess up your setup. He has a child also, so that means if you were not to give this man a child, it will still not be a relationship that will be strained in any way, shape or form. Also, he seems like a responsible person because he's even asking for it. And for you to be in a relationship with that person, it means obviously he's someone that is level-headed. But if all those things in the equation is still not giving you that strong conviction to go with this person or to agree at this point in your life to want to settle down with him, don't rush into it. Don't rush into it. There are so many reasons why you shouldn't. One being that if this is God's plan for you, you would feel it in your spirit. It's a feeling. You would feel it, especially if you've prayed about it. And if you are not feeling it, take your time. Pray about it. Now, secondly, maybe there's something else out there. Maybe you are feeling, because sometimes, you know, you at the back of your mind, there's something brewing as to the thought of, what if there's something else out there for me? So that's why you are not physically allowing yourself or opening up your mind space to the idea of getting married to this person. There could be so many other things simmering in the background. So by all means, take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush.
Rosie?
So I've been in this space before where marriage was actually not attractive to me at all.
I'm there now.
Because
I just ask people to come and marry you. Don't say that. Because she's available for marriage.
Sometimes you look at things that happen between your parents. Then you look at things that happen, your relatives,
others,
others, and some couples that got married very early after school, and then you see how it ends. I mean, the whole institution of marriage just wasn't attractive to me at all. And coupled with the fact that I love life, I love to enjoy myself and have fun. This whole idea of having a man, and you know, so the gap between my mom and my dad is wide. It's about 18 to 19 years.
Wow.
So when I was growing up, I actually fancied older people. So I actually thought, oh, you know, since this is what I know, I wanted to get a very older person. But I realized that the older people too, they were sitting on my spirit. Like, I want to wear my shorts and I want to wear, then they want me to do a long skirt. They want me to do, like, you know, they wanted me, like they were forcing me to grow.
They were cramping you.
Yeah, cramping my style. And
Thank you.
Then later on, you go and meet certain people too. Charlie, they are too much of ragamuffin rascals. And then, so for me, the whole institution of marriage, for me personally, it was not attractive. But I was dating. But it just wasn't attractive to me. But what I'll say is that when you meet that person, all those guards will fall off.
Yes.
It's like now, within a space of 2-3 months, you are thinking, oh, I want to get married. Oh, this is really nice. I want to do this. And the way she says in the submission, or the fact that she's financially this, she's that, she's doing this, I want to go back into her childhood, how she grew up. If she's coming from a place where her mother had to struggle to bring her up, for instance, in her mind, she doesn't want to be in the place that her mother was. So her whole life is about working and making it. Because my mom told me that at the time she was growing, back in the days, not too many girl children were educated. But in her case, her father made sure that she was educated. So her whole agenda was to go to, so she went to school, she did a degree in mathematics, can you imagine? University of Ghana and Champon and all that. So he did pure mathematics, so she's like, it's a brain. So she was going, then by the time she realized that, hey, there's something like marriage, her age too has also gone, you understand? But she did get married. No, she actually did get married. But I'm just saying that sometimes, depending upon your background, where you are coming from, maybe what your parents went through, what your mother went through, psychologically, there's a part that feels like, look, I need to have this locked down. I need to make it financially. I need to make it as a woman. I need to make sure I don't lack anything. And sometimes that drives you. So you are put in a box. And that is what is driving you. You excel so much. And then you wake up one morning like, oh, there's this other life too. Yeah. That I need to also, pay attention to. But then it gets to a stage where you don't even know how to even accommodate that in your life. Then you struggle with it. So I think that she needs to go for counseling to find out that is there something that is blocking that part of her from wanting to appreciate somebody. That's one leg of it. Then the other leg to it is that, look, when you meet the right person, you might not ask too many questions. And sometimes you see yourself going through the process before you even realize that you've gone through the process. The next thing you know, you're actually excited about planning the day. You're actually excited about getting married. You're actually looking forward to having more babies, having more kids. So when the time is right, the time is right. And you probably find somebody who will not put you in a box. You can still be free, you can still excel, you can still do all those other things. And even if you have to compromise, you realize that you are happy and wanting to compromise.
Right. I think I will agree with you. And also, especially with what you said, maybe what she has seen is what have driven her to be so successful. I think that's what's happening in Black America, especially Black women. A lot of women there now want to go to school to the end.
Yes.
Because of everything that has been happening, especially with men not being in their lives. Nobody want to have kids out of wedlock. Nobody want to be a baby mama again. Everybody now, that's why now, I think they started the culture of rich aunties. And basically a lot of rich aunties don't even want kids.
Yeah, it's become a thing now.
Yeah, so it's become a thing now for them. They want to go to school till the end, make all the money, become that person in the ladder when it comes to work, high in the ladder, and they don't want kids again. So I think it's, their experiences is what is brewing them to do that.
To push them,
All right, Olivia.
So this reminds me of a certain young lady I bumped into on Sister some years back. And another lady, she was very industrious, she was working, she was getting her master's at the time, or probably her doctorate. And I think we had talked about something on that previous Sister show. And I said to her, oh, she should give me her number. I would love to call her. So I called her, and then I didn't know her from Adam. We had an honest, open conversation. And I said to her, you know what? All that you want to achieve is great. All that you want to achieve is great. I said to her, sometimes we as women, or we as people, we end up being an impediment to ourselves, to our own blessings. because there was somebody in her life. She said, oh, she can't imagine herself, you know, she wants to work, she wants to make money, she's making money, she can't imagine herself. She now has to, you know, go and, you know, be a wife, have mothers. I said, oh, no problem, it's great. But think about it as well. As much as you're getting all this in life, there's also time and season for everything. I wasn't even talking to her about her biological clock. I was just saying there's time and season for everything. There's a time when it's conducive for you to get married. There's a time when that window elapses. There's a time when maybe that window will open. Maybe everybody is different. I'm not saying everything is cast in stone. It's all probability and it's all grace and it's all favor, it's all mercy. But by the time I was done talking to her, she sat back and I asked her some basic questions. This person who is in your life, how is he like? How does he treat you? Apparently, this person was very accommodating of her, will come and cook for her, make sure she was okay, even her exams, like everything. All the guy wanted to do was to marry her. He wanted to spend on her, the guy just wanted to marry her. And she had put him on hold because she thought that she couldn't imagine anything else. And like Rosie was saying, sometimes we get so fixated on wanting to achieve so much based on our past that we sometimes forget that, you know, there's a blessing ahead of me, or there's somebody good ahead of me. Maybe I should stop to think, or I should stop to pray, I should stop to ask God, I should stop to and seek. Do you get? Today, I am so happy. She's married, the guy took her to America, and she has a baby girl, and she's like super grateful. She's like, and she's actually living a life. I'm not saying that that will happen for everybody. I'm just saying that it's okay. It's okay to want good things in life as women. It's okay for us to go out there, to be ambitious, to work. And it's also okay to sit back and ask ourselves, oh, there's probably a possibility that I could actually be happy. Have I looked at it this way? Is there a possibility? Can I give it a little chance? See how it works. Is it meant for me? What is God saying about this person? You know, is this person going to be a prayer topic, or are they going to be a prayer partner? Because sometimes we could have people who, you know, God has probably destined to be in our lives, but because we've been so fixated on other things, we miss our blessing just like that. So by all means, all I'm saying is that pray on it. And sometimes this marriage thing that we all talk about so casually, it could, I always say this, it could make or mar your destiny. People get mad out of marriages because they can't deal with heartbreak. People end up with heart disease, BP, like crazy. So if you're going to embark on that journey, you really need to think about it. You really need to get God involved. You really need to pray about it. And there's also sometimes where it's also okay. You know, that's why I'm always heavy on see God's face in all that you do. You said, because the word of God says in all things, you know, acknowledge me and I will direct your path. Sometimes it's okay to be single. Sometimes not everybody was destined to be married. Sometimes God is also preparing you for bigger things, maybe to own an orphanage, to help children, to travel around the world, to make an impact in life whereby, or maybe ministry, something. You don't know what God has destined for you, and whereby, because sometimes you might marry somebody and the person will just be a thorn in your flesh. Sometimes it's also nice to actually appreciate the singlehood and the single period in your life. You never know how much of a blessing your single life is until you marry the wrong person, whereby, oh, you wish that you could actually pick yourself up and just do whatever you want to do, go to church, go visit some friends, do stuff. So I could sit here and rant and say this and say that. I just want to give you like two sides to this story because it pertains to your life, whereby I don't know how spiritual you are, but see God's face in everything you do. I've been doing that, and God has been faithful through it all. He's been faithful. So see God's face, because it can be tricky. You could meet this person that you could be talking about. He could make you the most happiest person in this world. You could say, oh, maybe, you know, I didn't think of it like that, but maybe looking at it, this person, he's widowed, he's more affectionate. He's more caring, he's more loving, he's more kind, and the child would appreciate your love, your presence. You could be an inspiration to this child. So you need to sometimes shift your mindset a little bit, be more accommodating, and see God's face. You never know that you could be staring your blessing straight in the face. That's what I have to say.
Right. So we all agree?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we've all spoken the same language in this particular one.
Yeah, this particular
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Because, you know,
different ones.
marriage is a serious thing,
tricky.
and she should just open herself up. There's a
Yeah.
reason why she's feeling like this at this time. You know, sometimes you are going on a certain, you know, you're going, on a certain tangent, and you've been excelling at it. But the fact that you've stopped to think about this other aspect, it probably somewhere deep down in your spirit, it worries you. But you've not given it room to fester. You've not given yourself room to pay attention to that part of your life that you probably also need, but you've killed because of your experiences. So now that it has come into your head, I think that you should do well to just keep an open mind.
Right. Would you
But
also think,
don't rush.
would you also think it's the fact that she has to be a stepmom that is also bothering her?
Well, that can be
Could
tricky if you
You see,
meet
the-
the wrong man.
Yeah, the stepmom bit, you see, sometimes it's a bit tricky if the child's mother is still alive.
Okay.
Sometimes it
From
gets a bit.
experience,
I'm
from
coming.
experience, even if the
Yeah.
child's mom is
I
not,
say
like,
it's a
sometimes
bit
the
tricky
fathers can
when
even be the worst.
when the child's mother is alive, and most of the time, how a stepchild responds to the spouse is actually dependent on how the man treats the woman, especially with respect to the child. So, for instance, if the child does something wrong, you don't shout at your wife
In front of the
in
child.
front of the child and do certain things, so the child can learn to respect. And in this case, the child is 5 years old. Yes, she'll probably have some memory of the mom, but if she's 5 years old, the man has been widowed for a while. I'm thinking that the child doesn't have too much of a memory of the mother. So if she is okay with it, they can actually build a bond with this child, and this child may not even know that this is not my real mother until she's told later in life. But all that being said, I think that if her spirit is good with it, she will know.
Right.
The most
Yeah.
important thing is not to rush into it,
Yeah.
because maybe some friends, and the thing is that sometimes friends also, hey, now with all this money, with all this success, Charlie, get a man and just marry, you know, or maybe just get a man and marry, have your own child, or do something. So maybe all those things are sitting on her
Giving her
brain
pressure.
and giving her some, you know, some subtle pressure to sort of like get married. And that's why she's suddenly giving it a thought. But whatever it is, like I keep saying, marriage is a serious business. It should be your decision too.
Right.
So that when
right.
things happen, you can actually learn how to, you know, navigate those storms.
Last thing I want to chip in is, you know, a lot of the times when we all say pray about something, but I realize one pastor said this, and it dawned on me that most times when we ask God for something, we don't wait to listen to his response. We don't observe and, you know, pay closer attention to what we've prayed about, what we've asked, what's God saying about it. Because you can pray all you want. It's like you are talking to your dad, you shout, and you walk away. He's not answered, he's not said anything. So what are you walking away to? So sometimes we must also meditate and take a deep into thought while we are praying. Be quiet, be silent, go into that silent moment and listen to what God is saying about it as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sisters, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Like, she's acting like such a good girl. Thank you so much. I think this has been a very great conversation. And obviously, another day, I mean, I don't want to say for the first time, this is another day that we're all agreeing that she should just, you know, calm down and just think it through, because it can go south and it can also go north. Yeah. So thank you, sisters, for your contribution.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's tell them thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right, and remember that this is actually brought to you by Gino and Cindy Rice. So let's take a quick break, and when I come back, I'll be sharing my final thoughts. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sister. And right now, it's time for me to share my final thoughts on what I think about both letters. Let's get to the first one. Dating man for 8 months, and then you gave him some money, and then he doesn't want to give you the money back because now he has money and all that. Girl, you should run for your life. That's the only thing I can say. And like the sisters all said, you should forget the money. That's if you are like Sicho and Rosie, you should forget the money. But if you're like me and Olivia, we choose violence. Give me my money, Jare. Give me my money. If you took money from me, you have to pay me back. But it's not that I'm saying that we don't love you. When we, talk about love, it has to be a two-way thing. Do you understand? It's not just one person giving. So, and it seems like this lady had given so much. Do you understand? Especially when the guy is low, on the low side. And also, there are certain men, those men that don't give especially, but they're always easy to be asking money from you. You are always hearing about their broke period. They're always broke. That's the only thing you always hear. They've not paid me. I've worked and they've not paid me. But the day they paid them, you never hear anything again. And it's not you that they enjoy with. See, I've heard about this kind of stories before. And I think if you're in that situation, it's not working. He's only thinking about himself. And you are just the one that they take money from. That's the truth. So please, if you want to leave him and leave the money. But if you choose to take your money too, take it. If you want to, just do anything. In anything that you do, take it or leave it. Or the most important thing is for you to leave, because it will not work, honestly, because that person clearly just cares about himself. And now the second story about, lady not being sure if she wants to do the whole marriage thing. I will agree with the sisters. I don't know if you're spiritual or not, but then it's time for you to, if you're a spiritual person like me, I think you should just sit and pray about it and listen to the Holy Spirit. And there's this thing that we also do. Like Sicho said, we do not wait to get the answers. And there's this other part of it. Even if God shows us the sign, maybe because of that pressure of marriage, that is when you start thinking, especially women, oh, I can fix it. I can fix him. No, it's 2024. We're not fixing anybody again. If their parents could not fix them, you are not the one that can fix them. If the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit could not fix them, you cannot fix them. You're not a doctor. You're not a fixer. You cannot build anybody. You're not Bob the Builder. No. There's nothing like fixing. When you hear the signs, when you hear it or see the signs, you just know that it's not for you. And I'm talking out of experience. Sometimes we see the signs. We feel the signs. It's there, but you want to fix. Girl, there's no fixing. So please, just take your time. Take your time. You need to take your time. There's no rush in all these things. That's the truth. And like the sister said, marriage is a very serious business. It can actually make you or mar you. So you don't want to enter anything that is going to mar you. Because like at the end of the day, if you try to run out from it, it's also very expensive. It's very expensive to get divorced. You understand? And for someone like you who has, worked up to this level, I think you need to take things easy. I mean, some people are enjoying their marriage, so don't think about it as a bad thing. But yeah, it can be sweet too. So you need to take your time to make that decision. Besides, there are people marrying at older ages and they are also enjoying their marriage. There's no time to this thing. Someone might marry at the age of 20 and then you might marry a bit older. And you would enjoy your relationship more than that person that married that time. Do you understand? So it's all about perspective. It's all about taking things easy. And it's all about getting to know that person well before you actually say, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on today's episode. Remember that you can send in your letters to us at sisterislive@gmail.com. A very big thank you to Gino and Cindy Rice. Now it's time for me to move out of here. Bye-bye.